Amidst the creaking sounds of the bones, Jiangqing lies, trying to escape something. He used to be a programmer, but now, he has turned into a skeleton. Even he himself does not know why or how this happened to him. However, that is the least of his worries right now because he is crushed by the impact of a foot that stands on his back. The impact causes him to startled and he looks back to find a giant beast snarling at him. He once again asks the same question that he has been asking ever since he got here. Just why is this happening to him? But there is no one to answer to him. In the year 2050, the Great Wastelands Open Beta, with highly realistic and open-world gameplay, the launch of the game nearly sent millions of players into an absolute frenzy. Swords and magic that have been a subject of humanity's fascination and fantasies, the Great Wastelands allowed for such fantasies to turn into reality. With thousands of jobs and billions of missions available, the game allowed many terminally online netizens to stay within this virtual fantasy of theirs. The game's popularity brought upon an immense number of orders to the beta testing studio that was producing it. As a result, many beta testers had to work overtime to test the game out. And among the beta testers who had joined the Great Wasteland, Jiangqing was one of them. However, nearly 3 weeks before the launch of the game, Jiangqing, who had ended up working for 42 hours in order to complete a huge chain of requests, experienced some abnormalities and lost his life. The very first memory upon waking up is that of a voice that is trying to wake him up. It was a beautiful girl, telling him to wake up or she is going to lose her life here. Jiangqing, who just woke up as a skeleton, obviously does not know what is going on here. He looks at the cute girl and the first thought he gets is if this is heaven that everyone goes to after death. However, realization soon hits him when a zombified wolf of elite class approaches him after causing a chaos in the surrounding area. The girl urges Jiangqing to stop the wolf as if this is what he is supposed to do, but Jiangqing is lost in his own thoughts. The reason of his surprise is the fact that the zombified wolf is found in the starting village of the Great Wastelands. And he finally gets it, this is not the heaven that everyone goes to after death, but this is the starting village of the Great Wastelands, the desert of death. He is reincarnated into the world of the Great Wastelands. Jiangqing comes to his senses when the girl beside him reminds him in a commanding tone that if he does not take care of the zombified wolf, they are going to end up losing their lives. Jiangqing is because he does not even know her and she has the guts to order him around. The zombified wolf does not wait for his feeling to be sorted out and rushes towards his prey, which is in this case Jiangqing and the girl beside him. The zombified wolf opens his large mouth to attack and Jiangqing reminds all the information about the enemy in front of him. The zombified wolf is a level 2 carnivorous monster that has a weak spot at its neck. Jiangqing has taken care of many of them during the beta testing of the game, so he also rushes forward with a sword in his hand to finish him off in one move. However, contrarily to his expectations, he is beaten up by the zombified wolf, but he does not understand the reason for his hands to be this weak. After being beaten up enough, Jiangqing notices his own hand and finally realization hits him, that he is reincarnated as a beginner-level skeleton soldier. Looks like this body of his was probably summoned by a beginner necromancer, but right now his priority is to grab his sword again that lies just inches away from him. However, he was stopped by the large foot of the zombified wolf that is now standing on top of his back. Jiangqing gets a glimpse of his life right before his eyes as he thinks if this is how things are going to end. He became a pro when he was younger and managed to win 2 championships, leaving behind an amazing record in pro esports. At that time, he thought he was the world's main protagonist. But a car accident changed everything. The trauma from the car accident left his hands forever trembling, causing his game abilities to decline immensely, which ended his career as a professional esports player. In order to pay for his hefty medical bills and the bond of the contract that he ended up breaching, he eventually set his pride aside and became a beta tester for the games. He, who had refused to bow down to the fate, ended up losing his life like a trash. In his losing consciousness, he could hear the voices of the people standing near him, who were not the least worried about him, talking about calling for mortuary instead of the doctor because they already announced him dead. They were more worried about the fact that they could not retrieve the items from his inventory in the game because they cannot retrieve them now that he is dead and they have wasted their resources on him. Someone suggested calling his family members to pay them the condolence money, but that idea is ruled out when someone says that he owed the organization a lot of money, so he paid what he owed with his own life, and that is the greatest thing that could occur to him. They continue to talk about him that he probably dies without any regrets because he already won 2 world championships. At the mention of the regrets, a new energy arises in Jiangqing. He has a lot of regrets, so there is no way he is willing to die like this. If God gave him another chance, he would definitely take the matter of his fate in his own hands. With that said, the miserly skeleton gets a purplish energy like that of lightning from somewhere and grabs the leg of the zombified wolf on top of him. Just then, a notification window pops up out of nowhere saying that the system had detected his intense desire to live and that the godly evolution system has been awakened. It even tells that the purpose of the system is to help its user to evolve endlessly, until they reach the peak and become the strongest creature in this world. Jiangcheng is going through evolution right now as the system keeps on popping notifications such as the special gift pack has been used due to user's impending death and the health has been fully restored as a result. The zombified wolf steps back as a precaution from the lightning, but it is already too late and an impact causes it to fly into the sky. There is only one instinct in Jiangcheng right now, and that is of survival. The cute girl is also shocked by the results because the head of the zombified lays separated from its body in front of her and the one to end it is also standing in front of her. It soon starts raining and Jiangcheng looks at the head of the zombified wolf, relieved that he has won this battle. The notification pops up again, telling him that the buff has ended and that he has finished off a level 3 zombified wolf, so he receives 10 experience points and 10 evolution points. Jiangcheng stands in a victorious pose, celebrating his survival in the rain for some time and then comes to a realization that his body is not as bad as he originally thought it was. While he is busy observing his body, another person is observing him as well. That is the cute girl that is still in a shock that the beginner skeleton soldier that she summoned is so amazing. The Great Wasteland is a game with extremely high degree of freedom and realism, and because of this, there are infinite possibilities within the mechanics of the game. Furthermore, there is extremely small chance that the creature which is summoned by the player would undergo a mutation, but such an event is very rare, with a probability of 1 in a billion. It is not an exaggeration. So, mutated summoned creatures can become a huge boost for players on their leveling journey. Overpowering the monsters is not just a dream anymore. All this explanation is not to just bore you people, but a realization made by the cute girl that summoned Jiangcheng. It seems like she has been extremely lucky and summoned a mutated creature. While Jiangcheng is busy in clearing the field, his summoner is busy in looking at the materials and the equipment that is being dropped because she can see the amount of money it can bring and her rent for the next month is secured. She is startled from her daydreaming when a head of a beast rolls towards her and she herself admits that she was worried that something came to attack her. She slowly approaches the head, surprised at the fact that her summoned skeleton soldier is able to take care of another beast in such a short amount of time, and she does not know who is the summoner anymore due to the difference in strength between them. Even though she was able to summon a mutated creature, her summoning level is only 1, so this is all the more amazing to her. Jiangcheng keeps on clearing the field by defeating the zombified wolves in the area because he has already adopted to the body of the skeleton, and the zombified wolves in the newbie zone can no longer pose a threat to him. Surviving should not be a problem right now, and he was even able to level up due to this fight with the zombified wolves. Nonetheless, he did not expect to be reborn in the newly launched world of the Great Wasteland in this way, so he thinks that the woman who summoned her must be a player. But the problem is that he cannot make sound without vocal cords. He is a skeleton after all. He is all done with his fight and now is surprised by this system that appeared in front of him. According to the system screen, it seems like as long as he keeps on defeating people or monsters, he can evolve. The system even tells him about some enhancement points that he can earn by defeating bosses, but unfortunately, he has not activated them yet. Maybe he can use these enhancement points to enhance weapons, but even though he participated in the beta testing, he never heard of this feature before that can enable a summoned creature to have his own evolving system. As he is pondering whether he'd be able to keep evolving as a beginner-level skeleton soldier, a screen pops up in front of him that he has gained enough points for the first evolution, and he is given a choice whether he would like to use these evolution points to evolve into a skeleton swordsman. Since Jiangcheng has no other choice, he accepts the offer to see what this system has in store for him. Upon selecting the option, the evolution begins in the form of a fire surrounding him that is supposed to be some sort of evolution protection. This even enables him to increase his health, mana, and all attributes by 80%. He further gets the skeleton swordsman exclusive weapon that is Bone Blade Steel Sword. The evolution is completed, and even Jiangcheng is surprised to see the stats screen because he did not expect that a single evolution would bring such a significant improvement. He gets an additional skill and a 20% attack boost that should be able to compensate for his lack of strength as a skeleton. Without waiting, Jiangcheng tests his new skills by swinging the sword and finds it pretty good. He deduces that with this, even without using tactics, his skill should already pass the players of the same level. So as a summoned creature, if he were to be discovered by the other players, he would definitely be seen as a heretic. Although he does not want to attract trouble, but trouble would find him sooner or later, so he needs to get stronger quickly. Different from those players on the leaderboards and guild members, as a solo player, he must have the strength to take on 100 to survive. He must become stronger than any of them. Another pop-up appears, urging him to earn more evolution points. However, continuing to defeat the wolves is not going to benefit him anymore, so he needs to change the maps. But there is something he must clarify about the relationship between him, the reborn summon creature, and the summoner. Before figuring that out, he has to bring along the summoner with him, even though he totally forgot her for a while now, and she is happily looking at all the materials dropped from the fight. She goes on her own to say that she can exchange in-game currency for real money in the Great Wastelands, and the exchange rate is very high. From her blabbering, Jiangqing can easily figure out that she is a newbie player. She finally notices him in his evolution that he changed somehow from the small skeleton to the one right in front of her. She showers him with praises and hugs him while daydreaming about getting rich overnight. Jiangqing knows that the first step should be trying to communicate with her and poses with his hands. He is finally able to get to her that they need to change locations of the fighting monsters. However, the girl unexpectedly starts whining that she does not want to leave this place because there are a lot of monsters around here and he can clear them out for her. This is the first time that Jiangqing has seen the summoner begging her own summon creature. He is worried that the monsters are respawning here so quickly that the other players might notice this place, and he is worried about running into high-level guild players who might be helping newbies. Even though there is no red name system in the world of the Great Wastelands yet, eliminating players, looting gear, and taking monsters in the wilderness is as common as it gets. Therefore, if this whining girl is eliminated by the other players, he might disintegrate. The only way he can think of to deal with the newbie player is to pick her up and moving around as he pleases. However, this action startles the girl and she demands he put her down because there is still a lot of material for her to collect. As a reborn entity, Jiangqing has no more attachments and he plans to use his game knowledge to take the lead. He first wants to defeat hidden bosses and collect all the rare equipment in the game. He makes his decision and decides to start from a dangerous place with a dangerous beast. It might be dangerous, but it is worth it. The area closet to the newbie zones is the hidden dungeons, and the target there is ferocious claw bear. At the savage bear mountain, the mysterious roars and the shouting of the players can be heard clearly. The players are cursing and running around in an attempt to escape this place. One player is left behind and is at the mercy of a humongous beast in front of him. He is worried that he cannot be eliminated in this gear and with all this gold because this means that he would lose all his earnings in the game. He feels someone approach and thinks that his teammates that just fled for their lives are here to rescue him. He turns around, relieved, but is surprised to find a skeleton holding a girl on his shoulder and his voice is stuck in his throat. The player shouts because there is no way he can be saved now, but the girl on the shoulder of the skeleton shouts louder and demands to be taken down. The pitiful player is eventually eliminated and faded after facing the bleeding debuff. The ferocious clawbear, who is level 7 beast, is still not appeased and rushes towards Jiangqing to attack him. The girl on his shoulder reminds him that she told him this place was dangerous, but he would not listen. She suggests to run from this area because even level 5 players could not defeat this clawbear, and fighting here could mean that they lose all the materials they just collected. Jiangqing is however not the least share the same worries as her. He even considered it a good luck that the players guarding here were already wiped out and no one would disturb him anymore. Otherwise, he was considering to set up a barrier to block the players from entering. He is even glad that the previous players helped him gather all the ferocious clawbears together at one place. Not only is it more advantageous for him to farm monsters, but they also solve the perquisites for spawning hidden bosses. Jiangqing finally drops the girl on the ground and she is not happy about it. She even reminds him that she is the master here, but soon shuts up when she sees that they have been surrounded by ferocious clawbears. But Jiangqing is anything but happy upon this encounter. The girl is too scared and practically begs the skeleton to leave this place instantly. However, her summoned skeleton does not listen to her and even rushes towards a ferocious clawbear in the vicinity. The system keeps sending red notifications that he has caught the attention of ferocious clawbear, but Jiangqing is not affected by it in the least. His aim is to get all the attention on himself first so that he does not have to worry about the girl, and then he can use his knowledge of the game to take them all down. The bears attack him, but he is able to predict their every move and dodges each attack because he cannot withstand more than 2 moves with his current health, and going unharmed is the only option he has. The girl is amazed by his dodging technique because the bears cannot even hit her little skeleton. She even notices that the skeleton is even misleading the clawbears to attack each other. Jiangqing has more speed than the normal players as a skeleton, and furthermore, the clawbears have thick skin and high attack, but they have slow speed, so Jiangqing has a speed advantage over them. He even knows that clawbears have a weak spot on their heads and ankles, so taking advantage of this knowledge, he activates quick sword technique that increases the attack speed by 20%. Taking advantage of his speed, he attacks their joints to defeat the clawbears. In the end, all the clawbears are limping, so as long as he attacks their weak points, he can deal double critical damage and finish them off. However, ferocious clawbears are called newbie eliminator for a reason. After damaging their limbs, they have a chance to use their active skill. And Jiangcheng is so lucky that the clawbears in front of him are using their active skill now, that is Thunderstrike that the ferocious clawbears use during tough battle. It delivers a powerful shock and electric current that instantly paralyze players. When the player is paralyzed, they move to eliminate the player for good, and that is why these clawbears are called newbie eliminators. The attack is on its way, but Jiangcheng looks prepared somehow and takes the shock wave. The girl that everyone forgot about is worried that her little skeleton cannot endure the attack but is surprised to find her skeleton standing without much damage. The reason for this is that as a skeleton and an undead, Jiangcheng no longer has flesh and blood, so he will not be stunned. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Jiangcheng jumps into the air and strikes at the bear's head because after using the special attack, the ferocious clawbears have a 3-second cooldown, and this is enough time for Jiangcheng to attack their weak points and give double damage and eliminate them. The girl is stunned at the power of her little skeleton while Jiangcheng takes care of the ferocious clawbears one by one because he has already memorized the ferocious clawbears attack module, and with the help of the skeleton's abilities, he can eliminate them without taking damage. He is able to gain generous rewards by just taking care of one clawbear and decodes to level up right here before his encounter with the hidden boss. He levels up to level 4 during the fight, and the girl is so happy about it that she has tears in her eyes as she praises his smooth movements. She notices that these movements are just like the actions of the legendary gamers in the online gaming world, the in-game special guest of the game's closed beta, the famous player Jiangcheng. She finds that it is practically identical and thinks that it could be an Easter egg designed by the Great Wasteland game development team for Jiangcheng, and she was able to summon it. The name of the girl is Zhang Mengmeng, and we are finally able to find out about it because she scolds herself by calling her name that this is not the time to be thinking about such things. Getting this summoned is like hitting a jackpot. Furthermore, she is starting to find this little skeleton more and more handsome. She diverts her attention by the scattered gold coins and the materials on the ground. Since she is so lucky to have summoned such a powerful creature, of course she has to make the most of his abilities. She encourages the little skeleton in her mind because her good life depends on him, and she does so with so much enthusiasm that even Jiangcheng is able to feel that something is watching him. Jiangcheng can see that his evolution points are increasing and he would be able to have a second evolution soon, but a sudden notification surprises him. The notification tells him that due to his outstanding performance, a hidden evolution path has been unlocked. Jiangcheng had no idea about it, and he notices that the hidden evolution path requires twice the evolution points than the normal evolution paths. Although it might take more time and effort, he knows that high investments means high returns, and he was planning to clear out the monsters here for the hidden boss anyway. He chose the hidden evolution path. He is as curious about the hidden path evolution as we are, but the clawbears do not look too excited about it because they can see their end in front of them. At the Bear Mountain, Jiangcheng takes care of the last ferocious bear. He checks the system screen and finds that with the increase in level, the evolution points yield decreased significantly. He is missing just 20 evolution points from unlocking the hidden evolution path even after all this frenzy of eliminating clawbears. Unexpectedly, this is really frustrating for Jiangcheng, and there is a probability that there will not be any low-level bears respawning in this area in the short term. Although he was not able to gather enough evolution points, luckily, he successfully eliminated all the bears within the time limit and level restrictions. Just as he is observing the materials dropped by the bears, a sudden notification appears telling him that a hidden boss has appeared in the vicinity. So Jiangcheng now has to deal with the hidden boss of the Bear Mountain, and he is interested in it very so much. The trigger conditions for the hidden boss in the Bear Mountain are very strict. Only players with a level below 10 who eliminate all the wild monsters in Bear Mountain within 45 minutes can trigger it, and such stringent conditions are difficult for players to discover. Jiangcheng jumps up a tree and finds the hidden boss with ease. It is the ruler of the Bear Mountain area, Bear Mountain Lord of level 15. Jiangcheng explains that low-level bosses are actually good because as long as the players do not enter the trigger range, they behave quite obediently. But wait a minute, is Jiangcheng considered a player? Not really, he guesses. At first, he considers attacking it directly, but he stops himself because the trigger skill of the mountain bear boss is quite tricky for early stage players, so trying to overcome it purely based on the speed and experience advantages would be too risky. However, Jiangcheng cannot seem to remember the trigger skill of the ferocious claw bear boss. During the internal testing, he remembers being chased around by it the first time it was triggered. He cannot recall it now, but anyways it is not easy to deal with it. He is not the one at fault for not remembering. There are just so many of these early stage mini-bosses that it is hard to keep track of them, so he decides that it is safer to complete the evolution first. But he would have to wait for the monsters to respawn in this area. Finally, in his free time, Jiangqing noticed that this feeling of being a summoned creature is really strange. He can feel the connection between him and the girl that summoned him. Ever since he was reborn as a summoned creature, it is as if something has been linking him to her. So he decides to find her first just in case. Even though the distance is a bit far, he has a feeling that he knows what she is up to without even looking. Jiangqing finally finds her near the defeated bears. Thinking that this is as he expected, she is busy looting the materials. However, he finds some other players in the area as well who are talking among themselves that all the monsters have been wiped out by someone already, and the audacity of that someone to come and dare to clear out the hunting grounds of their tiger hunter guild. One of them suggests that it could be the people from the Fist sect because their vice president fought with them for the control of the Brook Valley area just a few days ago. He even reminds them what their guild leader said about such encounters, but his teammate shuts him up to not tell the guild leader about this matter. They start searching for the player who caused such a frenzy because he should be nearby, for the corpses of the bears are still present. Even if they do not find that player, they still have the rewards to enjoy. One of the guild members starts looking around while complaining that if there's still a claw bear around, he would be done for and his expensive equipment would go to waste. However, he comes across the girl that is greedily checking out the material from the dropped bears and estimating their worth. He approaches the girl and demands where did she come from, making the girl startled. His loud voice also attracts the attention of his teammates, and they also come forward. The girl tells with a polite but awkward smile that she came to look for his summoned creature because he lost his way. But the man is not convinced because this is the first time he heard of a summoned creature running away and demands for the location of the other members of her little team. The girl tells them that she does not have a team and she only came here with her summoned creature. The man does not argue with her anymore and tells another member, Shadow Owl, to tie her up and prevent her from running away or logging off by taking her own life and interrogate her about her other teammates. Shadow Owl happily obliges the order. The girl gets defensive, but the guild members tell her that her efforts are futile. Shadow Owl uses his abilities of investigate and tells the other members that this girl might not be lying and that this girl is a level 9 undead mage. He further tells them that the undead mages summon skeletons that are slow and have low attack power, so she might not even be able to deal with a single claw bear. The wounds on the bears on the ground are neat and precise, like the work of a sword-based profession. Shadow Owl is able to tell with his abilities that this girl has not joined any team, so there must be someone else behind this. She might be just a misguided treasure hunter who accidentally ended up in the bear area. Treasure hunters refers to the low-level players who follow behind large monster hunting parties to scavenge items. They are also called bone pickers. The leader of the group leaves the girl to Shadow Owl and tells the other members to keep searching the area for the player responsible for the bear hunting. Shadow Owl creepily approaches the girl with his fast reflexes and tells her not to move or he would eliminate her right away. He approaches her, intending to touch her because the most realistic aspect of the Great Wasteland game is its tactile sensation. The girl is too scared and calls for her little skeleton in her mind, and like a Death Reaper, Jiangqing appears behind the Shadow Owl. The guild members hear the loud shout of the Shadow Owl from a distance and look back to find a skeleton warrior in the vicinity. The girl holds onto the skeleton while crying that she has been pretending for too long and cannot take it anymore. The guild members are shocked to find that a skeleton warrior was able to ambush Shadow Owl and run towards them. The Shadow Owl cries out while holding his arm, and Jiangqing picks up the girl and makes a run, while the captain of the guild catches on that the wounds on the bears can be caused by the undead mage and her summoned creature. After finally joining all the pieces together, the captain gives order to chase the two of them because if they got away, they would not be able to answer the guild leader. Jiangqing and the girl on his shoulder are being chased by the guild members. The girl thought that she would never see him again, so she is somewhat relieved. The members are catching up with them, so the girl suggests to take her down so that she can help him in a fight, but Jiangqing does not heed her words and keep running. The girl conveniently thinks that he is not letting her down because he has some kind of feelings for her. He may look cool up close, but he is still a skeleton. Her wild thoughts are halted when Jiangqing mercilessly throws her on the ground. She talks with her moth stuffed with leaves, questioning why he is like this, but she watches the guild members run past her and thinks that her little skeleton is trying to divert the attention of these players from her. At the end, Jiangqing sighs as he thinks that he has no choice but to take action after all. He assessed the skills of the players chasing after him and knows that these set of skills is really for the purpose of looting and eliminating. Fortunately, the surprise attack just now has rendered their archer completely ineffective in combat, and that guy's mental resilience seems surprisingly poor. So Jiangqing finally stops and moves around in a fighting stance. The guild members notice that the girl is gone, but they know that her summoned creature is here, so she must be nearby as well. The captain says that he did not expect her to use her summoned creature so efficiently and warns other members to be on alert. She might be hiding nearby and waiting for an opportunity. The caption thinks to himself that he just did not expect her to take care of so many beasts in such a short amount of time all by herself. It could be for leveling up or for the materials, but something does not feel right and the forest is giving off strange vibes, so he needs to investigate first before taking action. So he asks the Shadow Owl to use his detection skills to check out the surrounding area, but he does not respond because he is too angry that a summoned creature dared to attack him and takes out his weapons. The captain knows that it cannot be anything good and tries to calm him down, but Jiangqing provokes him, urging him to shoot the weapon in his hand. Jiangqing strikes the incoming weapon with a swing and is happy that they took the bait. The captain knows that they acted prematurely, but seeing that there is no ambush, he orders to strike first and take down the summoned creature. The captain attacks but is surprised by the speed of the skeleton because he knows that the skeleton summoned by a necromancer is supposed to be sluggish. All the guild members present gets a warning notification in red that they have been marked by the hidden boss, the master of the Bear Mountain. The guild members are taken by surprise because this is the hidden boss their vice leader has been searching for, but they are more shocked that the aggression of the hidden boss is directed towards them. With a single impact from the hidden boss, Shadow Owl is eliminated, but the players still do not understand why did the hidden boss suddenly appear. Their first suspicion is that this might be the target of that girl with the summoned creature. The master of the Bear Mountain activates its skill, the Bear's Rampage, and roars in an ear-deafening loud voice. The captain takes a wise decision of running away because he knows that they cannot handle this situation. However, all their efforts of fleeing are proven futile because they are now floating in the air due to the hidden boss has activated the skill Tornado Force Field. At the expense of the guild members, Jiangqing finally remembers that the bear boss's skill is Storm Force Field and Bear's Rampage. It is really tough to deal with, but the skill of a basic boss should not last for too long, so Jiangqing decides to watch just how long they can hold out. The captain thinks that they got lured by that girl and that she knew about the presence of the hidden boss from the start and used the summoned creature to lure them here. He notices that the summoned creature is still here, so she should be watching from the nearby. Suddenly, the gravity vanishes and they use this chance to run for their lives. The captain decides to run first and then report the presence of the hidden boss, but he notices that the summoned creature is no longer where he was before. Just then, he and his other team member get slashed and ultimately eliminated by Jiangqing. His last thoughts are that he got defeated by a summoned creature. He needs to notify the guild leader and they need to take out the girl and the hidden boss, and his consciousness vanishes as he watches the skeleton thumbs him down. Jiangqing finally gets the 20 evolution points he was missing from his next evolution, and the screen pops up for the option to evolve while the bear boss is approaching him. Jiangqing opts to evolve right this instant and the evolution starts. The hidden bear boss's mouth is just at his head when Jiangqing goes into the evolution and the lightning strikes at him. He catches the fang of the bear with one hand as the notifications keeps popping up telling him that he has 3 seconds of protection because of his evolution and that he has successfully evolved into a third-rank skeleton close combat striker.